Hey Neville, you ready to roll? We're gonna do this thing, okay? Okay. Are you ready, Foofy? Okay. Let's go. Well, guys, I'm late. Yeah. No guilt here. I'm just going to put this out there. I got no guilt. I am not sorry that I'm late. So last night I was supposed to, well, okay, let's back up a day. On Wednesday night, I was supposed to film my TBR. Neville's going to chew the alien. He likes to make noise. Okay. Anyway, I was going to film my TBR, and I got to reading, and I was like, you know what? I'll just do it tomorrow night. Oh, well. I got things to do. And if I recall, I was also late starting reading because I was sending off my manuscript. I created chapter titles and I was kind of tweaking those, if I recall correctly. I have no brain, so I could be just lying through my teeth without meaning to. But so last night I was prepared, had the books, all the stuffness, got this ready, and I sat down to read, and I finished the Green Gables letters, then I finished the Lost Memoirs of Austen. And then I finished Yours Truly, Jack. And I mean, I just plowed through these things. And I was like, I'm going to go do my Goodreads and BookBub, get those posted. And then I'll go film. Yeah, well, when I went to upload, as you update on Goodreads, the ones that you're not reading currently get pushed down. Well, then they move right up to the top right when you're done, right? And guess what moved to the top? The Appeal, which is one I need to finish this month. And I thought, well, I can finish that tomorrow night. But maybe I was only at 33%. I'm like, maybe I'll get up to 45, 50 so that I only have half the book to read, right? Well, yeah. So that was around 2, 3 a.m. And I'm just going to do this thing, right? Because this is my prime time stuff, right? I'm like, okay, I can just read a little bit and then I can go film and I'll still be in bed by 6. This will be great. Yeah. So at like 5:30 or so, I finished the book. I kept going back and rereading things. It's a really fascinating book. I can't wait to talk about it. But at that point, I was like, yeah, I'm not going to film. I'm dead. I'm mentally, I am just drained because there's so much to unpack in that book. And I was like, yeah. So here we are on Friday afternoon. I try not to do this on Fridays, be out here in the Shadowfest because my husband is home every Friday. And it just seems kind of rude to say, hi, dear, glad you're home. Bye. I mean, just to be, I don't know, what is it? 30 feet away? 40 at the most? It's not that far to the house. I mean, I bet I would not have to throw a ball hard to hit the house. I mean, it's that close. So anyway, here we are, and I'm late, and well, it's going to be what it's going to be, right? So this is my February TBR. I went through my journal. I looked up the athons on my athon page. Now, the reading challenges, I looked up. We have Forever Regency, Retro Romance, and Once Upon a February. And I don't know that I'm going to work at any of those, but some of what I'm doing might fit. We shall see. Yeah, we're just gonna go with that for now. I'm really tempted, like the February, I'm really tempted to maybe pull in those other BJ Andersons or BR Andersons or whatever the name is. I read Knife, there's Arrow, and Rebel. I might pull those in. I don't know. That is another thing. So February's, the number one thing I'm looking at is Chantal. They are growling at each other. Oh, Toothless thought he would take over the alien. Toothless, lay down. You can't steal. That's not right. You're not allowed to steal. Neville's like, yeah, you tell her, Ma. That was weird. That is so unusual. They don't usually interfere with each other at all. Once in a very, very long while, Toothless will try to be sly and steal Neville's food. But he doesn't usually go for toys and things. So that's kind of strange. Oh, did you hear it clatter? He doesn't like noise. So he moved it onto the carpet to get it away from the noise so he can chew without rattling. Neville is such a coward. Just don't mess with his toys. Too funny, too funny. But anyway, I know. I pet you. You're good. Back to the primary thing that I'm focusing on this year is Chantal's Read Your Bookshelf Challenge. So January was Beauty. I read a book that I thought had a beautiful cover, but I've also been focusing on beauty all month long. And what I did notice last night that I feel kind of sad about, but I'm going to do in my month wrap up so that I can pull this off. But I'm kind of sad that I didn't remember that in my journaling. And so I might try to remember it more in February to put the word. But the word for February is size. So I chose to go very literal, and because I wanted to read this book, it worked for me. So I chose The Little Nugget by P.G. Wodehouse. This is not a Jeeves and Wooster, if I recall correctly. And what did I do there? That is what I did with my glasses. That's what I did. And I do not like warm Coke, so I will take a sip. So let's see. This is the one where I feel like he's kidnapped. Yeah. See, and I remember, I should put my little size thing in there so I won't forget. The Little Nugget is one of the novels in which Wodehouse found his feet, a comic thriller, set in an English prep school for the children of the nobility and gentry. Into their midst comes 11-year-old Ogden Ford, the mouthy, overweight, chain-smoking son of an American millionaire. Ogden, whom we meet again in Piccadilly Gym, is the object of a kidnap attempt which forms the basis of the plot. The comedy arises from Wodehouse's favorite topics of Anglo-American misunderstanding and the absurdities of school life. I mean, come on. And I think I'll know more when I read this, but I think parts of this was incorporated into the Jeeves, and at least this character, the little American kid. I think it was incorporated into the Jeeves and Wooster series, but I may discover as I actually read the series that no, there were just more than one American kid, and they were both little terrors. And I don't usually appreciate that when British literature just turns every American into a stereotyped, just gauche, whatever. Not my thing. Hang on, I got a daughter coming. Of all the times to have an interruption for my daughter, this is perfect because sirens and howling huskies that get my dogs going and I do that in the middle of the night. They love it. They think it's the greatest thing. I'm like, whatever. It makes them happy if I join in, and it shuts them up. So you see, do you see? It's like, they're like, oh, wait a minute. If she's doing it, obviously we don't need that anymore. It really does seem to help. I don't know. So anyway, yeah, looking really forward to this, but we're working on size here. I have to admit, size turned out to be harder than I thought it would be. Thought it would be pretty easy, but not so much. So first, after that, I'm going to do my readathon stuff and challenge stuff and all that, and try to put it in there. So for the classics from In Search of Wonder, she's got her classics challenge. I'm doing, so for this is, I'm telling you, this is how crazy I'm going. So for the classics, because it fits with Feb Regency and as a classic, and I figured out a way to pull out size, I'm going to read Romance of the Forest. It'll fit in my DIY with Austen, that era that I'm doing. It's going to fit with everything, but because of that, I either have to get it from the library, a free audiobook from Audible, a free audiobook somewhere, or I have to read it on Gutenberg, because I'm going with a very small price size. I suppose I could spend 99 cents on Kindle. that would be a very small price size. So I could do that. But that's what I'm doing, you know, Romance of the Forest. That's going to be the thing. And I hope I don't forget to include that in the description, but I should when I edit this, right? So that's going to be my classics. With the Princess Bride challenge, like last month, I actually did the first one because it was, I had books that had read in them, so I just did it. This month, I looked at the board, and I mean, there are several from what I'm doing here that will fit. So I'm going to, a borrowed book. I definitely am going to be reading a borrowed book. Hot new release. I'm not sure if I'm reading that one. I think I am, but it's not on this list, but I think it's still coming in. So that'll be due. A Second Chance Romance. That doesn't happen in Anne of Avonlea, so it's not going to be this month for that one. Book of Poetry, I'm not going to do. Villain's Point of View, Mistaken Identity, I'm not doing. Book over 500 pages, I don't think I'm doing. Oh, Buddy Read, I'm still reading Thorofare with Ashley. And sorry, Ashley, I had to finish that book before I could continue with that, so that's what I'm reading tonight. Fictional plays, ebook, audiobook, I've already done that. Pirates, no, I think actually for Pirates, I might be writing my next Legends book for that, so that'd be kind of funny. And finish the series, I've already got that one planned. So there are several that will work, so I feel like I'm good there. So I have that one going. The Anne, I went with the Anne of Avonlea is for the Year of Maud, and sirens must be kicking up. They must be sending out reinforcements to something, because there they go. Oh! They're not going to shut up this quickly. I wonder if this will work for me to talk through this. Okay, we're gonna. Those Huskies, I'm telling you. Anyway, so Anne of Avonlea's for the Year of Maud. This is the one we're reading this month. And I chose this version of it to bring out to show because it's the smallest copy of it that I own. It's the first one I ever read, actually. This was mine that I bought from Read More Books. Next to Stater Brothers in a grocery shopping center, and now it's like a rent-a-center or something. But anyway, it was Read More Books, and I bought it, and I've had it ever since. Love the book, but it's the smallest, so it's a size. It's the smallest version of it that I have, although I will probably be listening on audio. But if you print out the audio cover, it is smaller. So I'm counting it as small, and I'm even putting it on the shelf, even though I'm not actually going to physically read. This time I really do want to just listen to all of them, all of the Annes. I will be physically reading the non-Anne books in the thing. So there's that. Then we have the Celebrating Jane. The book this month is Sense and Sensibility, and I'm going size, the price. The price on this thing was like $7 for a brand new paperback book that I am going to prayerfully annotate and tab and just trash as I read it. That's my goal. I want to just like immerse myself in the story. The other ones I have are actually smaller. My favorite way to read these are actually smaller. I have the little Wordsworth, and they fit so nicely in the hand. But I don't want to mark those up. They're pretty. I want to keep them that way. That's where I'm going with size on this one, and that takes care of my Austen challenge. And then, do I have any other challenges? Oh, yes. Then I have, I'm telling you, I'm having to stretch this size thing way more than I thought I would. Okay. So the next one we have is the Biblical Studies with Read Journal of Catherine over there. And this month is prayer. I'm still going to be continuing Mere Christian Hermeneutics. Just a couple chapters, 1-2 chapters a month at the most. I'm still on chapter 1 over on that one, and I think I'll end with just on chapter 1. I don't think I'm going to try to do another chapter, but that's okay. I decided last week sometime that I was like, yeah, this is probably not the time to add another one when I'm trying to finish up a story and I'm trying to, do all the things. So I was like, no. But this is a small book, very short. If you look at the printing, it's got wide, it's almost double printed. It's kind of crazy. And I did not pay very much money, so it has a small price, especially when you consider that shipping was included. I think I paid $10 for the $10 and some change, $10.84 to have this thing shipped to me from England. So small price. And I really expect to plow through pretty quickly, although I'm hoping I can take a lot of time in it. But that's some pretty large print size and pretty wide margins, another size, and not that many pages. There are 155 pages in this thing. Not that many. So it's a small book, because small. So there's that. Also, another small book, so to speak. I'm going to be focusing a lot on, so we're going through the Psalms in our Bible study. And we're doing 1 through 72 first, and this one takes us 1 through 75, I think. Right? And basically these are Ryan Whitaker Smith and Dan Wilt took the Psalms and then wrote them as prayers. So these are not scripture themselves, but they are heavily rooted in scripture. Not just the Psalms, but the verses that are in other places in scriptures that apply in those places. And there are some really beautiful ones. Where was the one that got me the other day? Yeah. So in Psalm 17, one of the verses of this prayer, one of the paragraphs, they write it in kind of a poetic form. It says, "My deepest desire is to know you in spirit and in truth, to be a friend of God, to abide in you and you in me in an intimate union closer than the bonds of blood, to cling to you as a child to its mother." I'm like, yes. So I don't know how size fits with this, except that it's only half of the Psalms. So we're going with that. That's more of a measurement, but it's also size. So, you cut them down to size. So yeah, this is going to be, I'm going to continue that. And I also bought for very little money. I think I paid less than $5 shipped. So small amount. It's a size. I bought Letters to Malcolm, which Malcolm was a fictional person that C.S. Lewis wrote letters to on the subject of prayer, predominantly, I believe. I believe it was about prayer. And so I'm gonna find out if I'm right, but I'm like 90% sure that this is what that is. So I decided we'll go there. But the only one I need to read to count it in my book is How to Pray, Reflections and Essays by C.S. Lewis, because I thought that would be a really good one. There's a very good chance I will also listen to Paul Miller's book on prayer again on audio, just when I happen to be out for a walk or whatever, but I'm not expecting to. So there's that. Okay. I think that's all of my challenge type stuff. And I've got quite a few there, really, but technically I have 1, 2, 3, I have 4 challenges there, even though I have 5 books. And there's another one because I've got the Romance of the Forest, so that's technically 6. So I've got a hefty TBR this time. I will not read all of these books because I'm still going to finish Thorofare. That's a large, chunky book size. So it gets to count for beautiful and chunky. But okay, so I'm just gonna I'm gonna do these in no well, no, I'm not going to do these in no particular order. I'm going to do these in this order because they make sense. So remember, I got those books out from the library. So this is the Magical Realism Before the Coffee Gets Cold by Toshikazu Kawaguchi. Toshikazu Kawaguchi. It says, if you could go back, who would you want to meet? In a small back alley of Tokyo, there's a cafe that's been serving carefully brewed coffee for more than 100 years. Local legend says this shop offers something else besides coffee, the chance to travel back in time. Over the course of one summer, 4 customers visit the cafe in hopes of making that journey. But time travel isn't so simple, and there are rules that must be followed. Most important, the trip can only last as long as it takes for the coffee to get cold. So, that's a short trip in a short, small book, and with big font. So we're like, we're going to go with that. So there's that one. Next up is kind of the reverse. It is the tallest of all the books. Size. It's tall. And this is actually epistolary. So it would have fit for epistolary January, but, you know, I knew I couldn't get to it, but I was hoping. So this one, watch, I'll read it tonight. This one has a lot of pictures. And it's got pretty large font and wider spaces, so that's good. And it's also kind of floppy inside. It's by Orlando Figes. In 1946, after 5 years as a prisoner, first as a Soviet POW in Nazi concentration camps, then as a deportee falsely accused of treason in the Arctic Gulag, Lev Mishenko unexpectedly received a letter from Sveta, the sweetheart he hardly dared hope was still alive. Miraculously, over the next 8 years, the lovers managed to exchange more than 1,500 letters and even arranged for perilous secret meetings in the Pecora camp itself. And we're just going to stop there. You know, I've already talked about it a little bit, but so yeah, just send me word. I want to read this. Because yes, so it's large and it counts. And the last library book, which are the ones that I want to prioritize because I've got to send them back, right? The last library book I have, oh, there's a fun misprint. Oh, I want this copy. Look at the misprint. I got to be really careful. This is a pretty fragile book. But look at that misprint. Do you see it? I mean, that is so cool. Anyway, so I don't know how, the only size thing I can do is that I don't have a lot, so it's small, of time to read it. I don't know. I really don't know. Yeah. Goodness. So this is 1926 was when it was first printed. And this printing is, they don't tell us per se, but it's first printing in April of 1926. May, June, August, September of 1926 were all printings. And then 28, 39, and then 30, 31, 33, 35, 35, 35, 35, 35, 36, 36, 38, 38, 40, 40, 46, 43, 58. So this has had, at the time that this one is printed in 58, it has had 26 printings. I'm thinking this is going to be a good book. So this is Precious Bane by Mary Webb. And it's, well, let me read what it says here. The story is a chronicle of the life and death of a Shropshire man named Gideon Sarn, a dour and extremely strong man who had to accomplish a purpose and made terrible sacrifices to attain it. In addition to the dramatic realism of the story itself, the novel is beautiful because of the quaint simplicity which the author achieves through her skillful use of Shropshire idiom. One critic wrote, "To miss reading this novel is something of an artistic misfortune." So, Precious Bane. I feel like it's very precious because I don't want to damage this book. But I want this copy so bad. I'm like, if you ever sell this, can I have it? I will buy it. Just say it. I will buy this book. As a matter of fact, I will buy you a new one and you can let me have this one. Yeah, I don't think they do it that way, but I would love it. So that, yeah. Then I have a few that are here for absolute total just possibilities. These here are, if I happen to have time, or if one of these ends up being a DNF, or they read faster than I expected, or any of that stuff, then I've got these to work from. I'm going to start with, this is really funny. I'm not kidding you. This is how pathetic I am. I'm going to start with The Blooming of Delphinium because I'm not done with it and I want to finish it. And the reason that this fits with size, I'm telling you guys, this is really pathetic. But the reason that this fits with size is that delphiniums are tall flowers. You know, they can get like, I think I was reading, they can get like 6 feet tall, certain ones. And I'm like, yeah, those, because that's what we're talking about with delphinium. And the character of delphinium, if I recall correctly in this one, is not a tiny woman. So their size. And yeah, fun stuff. And they're larger than life characters. I'm being ridiculous, but I'm serious too. I'm really looking forward to this. This is the second one in the Moonberry Lake. And in this one, delphinium just kind of knows. It says, as far as hidden talents goes, delphinium is blessed with one of the more unique talents. With the slightest passing whiff, she knows someone's most admirable or weediest characteristic. This peculiar perception never fails to give her an advantage in understanding people, except for one man whose scent doesn't seem to match his demeanor. In this one, there's a guy who runs a retirement home, and all of his retirees are like disappearing because they're going into town every day and they're playing poker in delphinium's cold case for flowers. And she's like, has to make them keep their pants on because they're trying to cool off. It's just so ridiculous. And just all kinds of fun. And he doesn't understand why they're there. He's trying to give them a great and wonderful experience at this home. And they just want to go to delphiniums and have, you know, chips and hot dogs, you know. So, yeah, I do want to finish that book. I loved it. And I'm looking forward to her next one. And now I can't get that on the shelf right. So we're just going to stop. Yeah. So there's that one. And then next, I think I'm doing this kind of in order of how I will probably read them. Ish. So next is 8 Down. I really want to read this book because I loved the first one. And I'm really excited about this one. And, you know, 8 is a pretty small number compared to the other numbers in the series. The other numbers in the series are 26 and 70. I think it's just 70. So just saying, it's the smallest number. And it's the middle child. We need to be kind to the middle child. So yeah. So it's book 2, which is a small number. So it's book 1 and book 3. But you know, work with me here. So yeah, this is book 2 in the Alaskan Cyber Hunters, and in this one there's a serial killer, and they finally figure out that there are clues in crossword puzzles all over the nation. Even though this is taking place in Alaska, there are clues in crossword puzzles all over the nation, and always in the place of 8 Down. And that's all I know, and all I really want to know, because that is sufficient to the day. And then I will probably pull this one out next because, again, I want to finish it. I started reading this way back. This is If the Stars Awaken. It is one of the shortest books. And there's a lot of pages in it because of how it's typeset and everything. But there are not a lot of words. It's a short book. I'm over halfway done. And it's by Kate Willis. And it's kind of a fantastical reimagining of the birth of Christ. And I'm enjoying it. I don't know. I kept getting sidetracked. I don't know why I'm not done. It's not going to take, that's another size thing. A small amount of time to finish it. I bet I can sit down and finish it tonight in an hour and a half at the most. So nah, it's going to be an hour. I mean, just, do you see? Yeah, it's not going to take any time at all. So I would like to finish this. So this one may not even make it into February. This one may end up being beautiful because the nativity story is beautiful. Let's go with that. So we have that. I have two more. Again, I don't think I'm going to get anywhere near these two, but I might, right? So the next two, the first one is Sadie on the Rocks. And I'm taking, you're noticing that there's a lot of small in this size because that's what's working. But in this one, this is by Joanne Bischof, Sadie on the Rocks. It says a suddenly Sadie adventure where hope is found in new heights. Height is a size. And this is a small book. And it also has kind of large print and white spaces. So lots of sizing going on there. But it says, I can't believe I haven't read this yet. I just feel so stupid. Graduate from college, get married, and have children. These have always been checkpoints on Sadie's map of life, but still single in her 30s and weary of unmet expectations, she faces a crossroads. Continue waiting for life to begin or rethink what those checkpoints should be. Determined to find renewed purpose, Sadie deletes her old dating apps, opting instead for a trip to the outdoor adventure store in her small Colorado town. The plan is simple. Find a hobby that offers fresh challenges and experiences, new horizons to be explored, even if it means facing some of her biggest fears inside and out. So begins the first adventures in the all-new chronicles of Sadie McGillis, one woman who strives to redefine what happiness should look like. I mean, come on. So, yeah, small book. First one, smallest number in the series is a 1. We're going with that. And if I get to it, and I will probably not finish it, even if I do. This is something I wanted to read along the way. But this is Peter Leithart's Jane Austen, a literary celebrity. And this is just a biography of Jane Austen. There are a lot of appendix. So there are 100, nope, that's acknowledgments. The book ends at like page 154. No, 154 is where the book ends. And there are, how many chapters? Please tell me there's a table of contents. Yes, there are. There are only 7 chapters. So it's a very small book. I don't know if I want to read the whole thing this month. But if I do, I've got this. In it, I just don't know. Part of me feels like there's no way I'm going to get to this. On the other hand, because I'm reading along, I could just read a chapter of it. It's just going to depend on how much like note-taking I need to make. It's kind of hard to know. I just really don't know about this one. We'll learn as we go, right? Yeah. So, yeah, these, okay, I'm not going to put Precious Bane in the stack because I really don't want to topple it over, and I feel like I'm about to drop everything. So I'm not going to do that just in case. It's not my book, you know. I don't want to topple any of them because 2 other ones aren't mine, but they could survive it. That one would be damaged, and not going to do that. Not going to do that. But yeah, this is most of what I have. There are 2 other ones that are not mentioned. Plus finishing Thorofare. So, I mean, it's kind of ridiculous. I won't pretend it's not. But, I got them there anyway. Let's take on the shelf. And, yeah. That's what I'm kind of in the order that I'm planning to read, actually. So, you know, it's just kind of, we'll see what happens, but the challenge books and the library books are my priority. Also, I kind of need help. So I'm going to, here's the deal. This is so ridiculous. But so I have this, we have this collection coming out on the 14th. It is Love Blooms on Valentine's, and I have a rom-com in it. And in my rom-com, Linus is a songwriter who has avoided relationships his whole life. His uncle recommended it when he was 12. And he didn't get the memo that this is, you know, don't have a bunch of teenage crushes that are just going to, you know, warp you. He took it as, if you want to write love songs, which is what he always wanted to write, then you don't want to date. So he has never dated. He knows nothing. But he has hit writer's block, and he's desperate. And in comes fake dating that bless Dana's little heart. She doesn't realize that this is fake dating, and he's convinced that she isn't interested in him. It's just some of these misunderstandings that is deliberate and yet not. You know, I really worked at trying to make it fit. You know, he's being obtuse, but he's not being cruel. She's like, wait a minute, what? And done with him, you know, all the mess. But he's trying to get to overcome writer's block, and all he ends up with is the ability. He wants to avoid becoming Taylor Swift and writing breakup songs. In fact, he has a cat named Swifty to remind him not to give in to temptation to have a relationship that'll end up with him doing nothing but writing breakup songs. What happens? He gets out of his block with breakup songs. Yeah, bless his heart. But then he decides that Dana is someone he is actually interested in. He gets chewed out by the uncle who's like, you're an idiot. And it's time to go, you know, full hog on convincing this gal. So he sets on this course, and I'm not really giving away spoilers. I mean, come on, it's a rom-com. You know what's going to happen. But he sets on this course of giving a special day every day for the 2 weeks up to Valentine's Day, right? You know, the 14 days of Valentine's Day. Everything goes wrong. I'm just going to say it. So, for the lead up to Valentine's Day, I wanted to have 14 romance tips from Linus. What I need to know is, would it be, without any description below, I'm going to have it, and I'm going to make it clear below, but if all you saw were these images that I'm going to show you, would you realize that I, as the author, am not saying that these are a good idea? I need to know, because I'm trying to make them not so ludicrous that even, you know, Linus would know that this is stupid, right? Because we can't make him an idiot, even if he is. He's a lovable idiot. He's so sweet. But so, with that in mind, I'm going to show these tips that I want to share, and I want you to please tell me if it would be obvious, at least after the first couple, that I've only got 3 or 4 to show you, but it would be obvious that, yeah, don't follow that advice. Okay, so here we go. Number 1, if your bank account is flatlined by inflation, a sincere compliment is priceless, literally and figuratively. Compliments such as, I love how funny you are when you want to be, or who knew someone so pretty could be so smart, tells a woman a lot. I had too much fun with these. Okay. Linus's romance tips number 2. Women love chocolates, so go next level and get sugar-free. She'll thank you for it. These are obvious, right? Okay, next up. Linus's romance tips number 3. If you're not ready for things to get too serious, buy candy eyes in the baking section at Walmart and put in a small jar with a tag that says, I only have eyes for you. You'll get a laugh. It's funny, but on the other hand, eyeballs, I'm just saying. Bless his little heart. Okay, here we go. Last one, the one that is really kind of concerning me. I want to make sure that it's based on these other ones especially, you know. I can even put it down lower in the lineup. So it has been several days of bad advice. I can do that. But I want to make sure, especially this one, that it's really clear that he's not someone to take advice from. And if there's any chance that it's not clear, I want to know. Okay, Linus's romance tips number 4, 5, 10, 14. I don't care. If your sweetie is a single mom, she'll love it if you don't forget her sweetie. Surprise her child with a new puppy or kitten. It'll be a Valentine's Day nobody forgets. Okay. Is it obvious? Please tell me it's obvious that this is not my advice, that this is Linus's, and it's not good advice. If I'm wrong and that's not obvious, I need to know before I put it out there and offend everybody and their brother and, you know, get the Humane Society down on me. Because, can I just say, yeah, not ever a good idea. Just put it, never give someone an animal for a gift if they haven't expressed that they want one, but can't buy it yet, or, you know, just haven't had time to look, or, you know, they're really bad at picking out animals, so they got to wait until they can take someone with them, whatever. There are exceptions to it, but those exceptions are so far from the rule. You know, I'm just saying, just kind of put that out there. But what do you think? Can I get away with it? Because it is so Linus. He would love it so much to be able to just make this little girl so happy. He's such a sweetheart. At one point, he does something right, and, oh, let me find it. I'm going to show you. I was dying. I was cracking up so much when I wrote this line that I had to stop typing because I was making typos. It says, "Out of my way, Santa Bunny Fairy. Papa is in the house." I don't know. It just cracked me up because I could just see him just going, "Yeah, I did it. I'm better than Santa and the Easter Bunny and the Tooth Fairy all in one," you know. So, yeah, I had fun. Had a lot of fun. I have stickers that go with this book, and I had no idea what I wanted to do with them. Why I bought them is I wanted to test and see if I liked the stickers, because they are the same as our die cut ones that we always get, except that they're peel and stick, so you can just, it's a little easier to get the backing off, right? I'm gonna smooth that out so it's nice and new still. But so I made these stickers. It says, "All in a day's romantic woes." Bless his heart. He's so sweet. And so I've got a whole bunch of them, and I thought I would send them out to, you know, the first dozen or so people that send me an email. My email's in the description. So, especially if you would please tell me if I can get away with that. Yeah, can I get away with it? Please say yes, please. Meanwhile, what you reading in February? Is there something I need to know about? Is there a readathon challenge, whatever, that you know I would love, that I didn't know about, that I need to know about, and I need to, you know, pivot? Yeah, I'll be back Tuesday. It's so weird not to say Monday, with something. Probably my reading wrap up, because I have a lot of books over there. And this one might be a long one, guys. I've got a lot to talk about. Yours truly, Jack, especially combined with, I really want to contrast it with the letters from Ella Montgomery to Ephraim Webb. There was that Light Between Worlds. I have so many thoughts. They're just got lots of thoughts on lots of things, and yeah, we got to talk. So, I hope you have a great weekend, and sorry this is late. I got skills, guys. Nobody wants them, but I got some. See you later.